No species smiles while dying. That was the first rule every hatchling learned. Humans broke it before I even spoke to one. My name cannot be shaped by your mouth. I served the Grand Council as an observer of compliance. My purpose was simple. Count weapons. Measure fleets. Record lies. Every civilization lied. The Council believed enough data could predict every future war. It always had. Until humans arrived. They called themselves peaceful. We believed them because they acted frightened. Weak species always feared the Council. They bowed. They apologized. They signed every treaty. Humans did all three. I concluded they understood their place. I was wrong. The Council chamber floated above the blue world they called Earth. Thousands of diplomats watched the ceremony. Hundreds of drones scanned every human ship. Our sensors mapped every engine, every missile tube, every energy core. Nothing escaped our technology. Or so I believed. The Supreme Arbiter spoke for 6 hours. Humans listened without interruption. That disturbed me. Aggressive species argued. Cowards remained silent. Humans stayed silent. I classified them as cowards. The order was simple. Every military vessel would be dismantled. Every planetary defense grid would be shut down. Every orbital cannon would be melted into civilian infrastructure. The Council called it permanent peace. Humans called it acceptable. Their ambassador smiled. Again. I recorded the facial movement. Again. I searched our archives. Repeated smiling during surrender did not exist. I marked it as a nervous malfunction. Another mistake. The dismantling began immediately. Millions watched. I watched more closely. Destroyers entered orbital furnaces. Cruisers separated into glowing metal streams. Carriers disappeared beneath cutting lasers. The greatest human fleet vanished in 12 planetary rotations. The Council celebrated. I did not. Something felt incomplete. My species evolved by sensing patterns hidden beneath chaos. That instinct had preserved us through 5 extinction cycles. The pattern was wrong. Humans destroyed everything exactly as ordered. Too exactly. No delays. No protests. No sabotage. Perfect obedience. Perfect obedience never exists. I increased surveillance. Every human shipyard became a construction yard. No warships emerged. Only cargo vessels. Mining ships. Medical transports. Passenger liners. The Council praised humanity every day. Trade expanded. Borders opened. Military budgets collapsed across nearby systems. Neighboring civilizations copied the example. Peace spread faster than disease. Everyone celebrated. Except me. Because humans never stopped building. They simply built different things. Thousands of civilian ships. Then tens of thousands. Then hundreds of thousands. Cargo moved everywhere. Food. Medicine. Machines. Construction materials. The numbers became absurd. I submitted a report. The growth rate exceeds economic necessity. The Council rejected it. They called me paranoid. Perhaps I was. Still. No civilization increased logistics without purpose. Supply always came before expansion. Expansion always came before conflict. Humans expanded nothing. That made even less sense. I visited Earth. Their cities were louder than any capital I had studied. Noise filled every street. Music. Arguments. Laughter. Machines. Animals. Children. Nothing followed efficient design. Everything should have collapsed. Instead, everything worked. Humans walked quickly without obvious destination. They consumed dangerous chemicals for pleasure. They climbed impossible mountains voluntarily. Some jumped from aircraft for entertainment. Others entered frozen oceans willingly. I updated my psychological profile. Humans possessed defective risk assessment. The report received high approval. Years later, I realized the opposite was true. I interviewed factory workers. They joked constantly. Even while operating machines capable of removing limbs. They named dangerous equipment. They decorated assembly robots. One massive lifting machine wore painted eyes. Another had a smiling mouth. I asked why. The worker laughed. So it behaves. Machines do not respond to decoration. I noted another irrational belief. Yet accidents around decorated machines remained unusually low. Coincidence? Obviously. Everything about humans seemed built upon coincidence. One evening I observed a construction site. Hundreds of cargo containers arrived. Thousands of structural beams followed. No military hardware. Only civilian materials. The structure rose with impossible speed. I scanned the blueprint. Warehouse. Another warehouse. They already possessed enough storage capacity to feed dozens of colonies. Why build another? My report received no response. Months became years. Human trade doubled. Then tripled. Entire sectors depended upon their shipping network. Even former enemies trusted human transport. Humans delivered supplies during storms, during pirate attacks, during radiation events. They always arrived. Sometimes damaged. Never late. I concluded they valued reputation above survival. A foolish strategy. Then came the famine. Not on Earth. On the Kareth worlds. For suns erupted simultaneously. Harvests failed. Billions faced starvation. The Council debated relief for 19 days. Humans launched aid ships within 19 minutes. No permission. No vote. No approval. Just movement. Thousands of civilian freighters accelerated together. The convoy stretched across light hours. Pirates attacked. The cargo ships did not retreat. Several sacrificed themselves to shield food transports. The supplies arrived. Millions survived. The Council fined humanity for unauthorized deployment. Humans paid immediately, then launched another convoy. I stared at the reports. Nothing fit. They risked everything, yet never demanded territory, never demanded payment, never demanded influence. No empire behaves this way, unless the aid itself was a weapon. Finally, a logical explanation. Dependency. That was the plan. Feed everyone. Control everyone. I felt relief. At last humans made sense. I presented my findings. The Council applauded. The investigation began. We monitored every shipment, every contract, every communication, every financial record. Nothing. No manipulation. No hidden ownership. No secret commands. Nothing. Humans simply helped. It was infuriating. No species helps strangers repeatedly. Not without gain. There had to be gain. There always was. Then our border sensors detected an unknown fleet. No identification. No diplomatic codes. No recognizable engine signatures. 37,000 vessels. Moving together. Silently. The closest Council defense fleet mobilized. Too slowly. The unknown armada ignored warnings. Ignored negotiations. Ignored everything. 3 frontier systems vanished from communication. Not conquered. Silent. As though erased. The Council declared emergency war powers for the first time in 8 centuries. Every civilization scrambled to rebuild its military. Factories reopened. Weapons returned. Shipyards roared. Except humanity. They built nothing different. Still cargo ships. Still medical vessels. Still civilian transports. I almost laughed. The most dangerous invasion in recorded history approached, and humans continued delivering food. I concluded they had accepted extinction. It was the only explanation that remained. Then I noticed something impossible. Every civilian ship already knew exactly where it was going. Before the invasion reached us. Before the Council announced evacuation routes. Before anyone understood the enemy. The cargo fleet moved as if following a plan written years earlier. And for the first time in my long life, I wondered if humans had ever truly disarmed at all. I replayed every record. Every dismantled battleship. Every melted cannon. Every smiling human face. The images did not change. My conclusions did. The unknown fleet crossed the Varric expanse. Planets disappeared behind them. No distress calls escaped. No debris drifted through space. Only silence. Silence frightened my species more than destruction. Destruction left evidence. Silence erased questions. The council gathered every surviving military commander. Maps filled the chamber. Predictions filled the air. Hope did not. The combined fleets numbered 60,000 warships. The council called it overwhelming strength. The humans called it insufficient. Their ambassador remained calm, still smiling. I hated that smile. It always meant I had misunderstood something. The council demanded human assistance. We ordered your fleets dismantled, the arbiter admitted. You have nothing left. The ambassador nodded. Correct. No anger. No accusation. Only agreement. I marked it as surrender. Again. Again I was wrong. The battle began 3 cycles later. I watched from the command station. The council fleet fired first. The enemy ignored the barrage. Energy shields absorbed everything. Missiles vanished. Particle beams scattered. Nothing worked. Our formation collapsed within minutes. Entire battle groups disappeared. Not exploded. Panic spread faster than light. Then hundreds of strange signals appeared. Not military frequencies. Civilian transponders. Thousands. No. Millions. Every direction. Every shipping lane. Every trade route. The screens became white with signals. I thought the sensors had failed. They had not. Human cargo ships were arriving. Freighters. Mining vessels. Medical transports. Passenger liners. Tugs. Construction platforms. Fuel carriers. Every civilian ship humanity possessed. The council screamed. They're evacuating. I believed them. It was the logical answer. Cowards always fled. Humans had always seemed like cowards. The civilian fleet accelerated. Not away. Toward the enemy. That made no sense. Cargo ships cannot fight. Medical vessels cannot wage war. Construction barges are not battleships. The humans knew this. Yet they kept coming. The first freighter reached the battlefield. Its cargo containers detached. Then every container ignited. Engines. Hidden engines. The containers changed formation. They locked together with perfect precision. Armor unfolded. Weapon ports opened. Shield arrays expanded. A warship appeared. Not built. Assembled. In seconds. I froze. Another freighter repeated the process. Then another. Then another. Every cargo container was a warship section. Every transport carried pieces. Every trade convoy had secretly been a fleet. No, not a fleet. A factory. The dismantled navy had never vanished. It had learned to travel separately. The council had counted ships. Humans had counted pieces. We inspected hulls. Humans redesigned the idea of a hull. Our treaty banned warships. It never banned cargo. I remembered every warehouse. Every storage yard. Every absurd construction project. Not warehouses. Assembly sites. I remembered every smiling worker. Every decorated machine. Every impossible logistics report. The pattern had always existed. I simply lacked the mind to see it. The battlefield transformed. Millions of civilian ships became thousands of capital vessels. Destroyers emerged from fuel tankers. Cruisers unfolded from mining rigs. Carriers assembled around hospital ships. Even the smallest maintenance craft locked together into armed formations. Nothing had been hidden. Everything had been disguised. The humans had obeyed every law. They simply changed what the law meant. The enemy advanced. The newly assembled fleet met them. Then humanity did something even stranger. Their warships broke formation. No disciplined species abandons formation. Formation is survival. Humans scattered. Madness. Each vessel fought alone. They crossed paths constantly. I expected collisions. Instead, they exchanged sections while moving. Damaged armor detached. Fresh armor arrived. Empty missile racks floated away. Loaded sections replaced them. Entire engines were exchanged in combat. Ships repaired each other without stopping. I could not follow it. No tactical model explained it. The enemy destroyed one cruiser. 3 freighters immediately attached themselves to the wreck. Minutes later, another cruiser emerged. Humans did not replace losses. They rebuilt them before the battle ended. The enemy adapted. Massive beams sliced through human formations. Hundreds of vessels died. I finally understood. No civilization survives endless losses. Eventually humans would run out. They had to. Numbers always win. Then another wave arrived. Not soldiers. Merchants. Civilian merchants. Private companies. Independent traders. Fishing vessels. Luxury liners. Colonial transports. None belonged to the government. None had been ordered. They came anyway. Every civilian captain entered the battle. Not because they were commanded, because other humans were already there. I searched for central control. None existed. Impossible. Without command, there is chaos. Without hierarchy, there is collapse. Instead, they coordinated through countless tiny decisions. Every captain guessed what others needed. Most guesses were correct. The battlefield became alive, changing, healing, growing. I finally recognized the hidden pattern. Humans never built fleets. They built relationships. Every shipping contract, it connected them. When war arrived, the network became a weapon. The Council believed strength lived inside warships. Humans stored strength inside trust. The enemy pushed toward Earth. One final assault. Every remaining human ship intercepted them. Their formation opened. Not to attack, to protect. Behind the fleet floated billions of evacuation vessels. Children. Families. Scientists. Artists. Workers. Everyone. The humans had prepared evacuation routes years before anyone expected war. Not because they predicted this enemy, because they expected disaster. Always. That was their secret. Hope was never their strategy. Preparation was. The enemy flagship finally fired. A weapon larger than cities. The beam crossed space. Earth should have died. A single human tugboat moved into its path. Ridiculous. Insignificant. It vanished instantly. Then another tug appeared. Then another. Then hundreds. Thousands. Each absorbed a fraction of the blast. One by one. Until the beam weakened enough for planetary shields to survive. No species sacrifices itself in sequence. It is inefficient. It is irrational. It is human. The enemy broke. Not because humanity possessed stronger weapons. Because the enemy could not understand an opponent that willingly became weaker to make everyone else stronger. Their lines collapsed. Their command failed. Their retreat became panic. The war ended. The Council survived. Mostly because humanity ignored our orders years earlier without ever disobeying them. Afterward, I visited Earth again. The smiling ambassador found me. You finally understand? I almost answered yes. But that would have been another mistake. No, I admitted. I understand less than ever. The human laughed. Not at me. With relief. As long as you keep trying. That answer disturbed me more than the war. My final report contained only one recommendation. Never measure humanity by what they appear to surrender. Count what they choose to protect instead. The Council ordered humans to disarm their fleets. They obeyed. They simply taught the entire galaxy that a fleet was never the dangerous part. And I still cannot explain why the species that smiled after surrender was the only one that had never truly accepted defeat.